Good morning, everyone, from Rosie and I. It is a gorgeous morning. It is getting to be the middle of July, and we have had sweltering hot temperatures, but this morning feels amazing. There is a light breeze. It's actually a little bit cool. I think it's still gonna get hot, but at least the morning temperature feels a lot better. Yesterday I came out here, it was like a literal sauna. It was so hot and humid. So this is a welcome relief for sure. We had a little bit of rain last night. We have been extremely dry. As you can see, our grass is just brown and crispy, but that rain last night was so nice. And I think we're actually supposed to get some rain over the next couple of days with a system moving up the coast. So that will be really great if we can get some rain just to catch up. I hope that you guys have been getting some rain where you are and having some more moderate temperatures. And I'm just gonna walk you through quick. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm just gonna do the backyard here just to show you what is going on here in the middle of July. Things are really looking beautiful. Over on this side is one of my obelisk beds where I have this Mystic Spires blue salvia growing that is huge. I feel like it's getting taller and taller each day. It's probably about 5 feet tall. It is so big and it's really sturdy, not flopping over. I hope that it stays that way and doesn't flop into all of the other things that I have going on here. But I have been unfortunately dealing with some major rabbit attacks. I found 3 baby rabbits the other day and they have been eating everything. I am quite bummed, but so far they have left alone for the most part these zinnias that are in front of my salvia here behind my boxwood hedge. I planted a hedge of zinnias. I've lost a couple due to breakage that I'm going to need to replace, but for the most part they have been starting to take off. This one has gotten quite big right down here. I think this is a mix of Benary's Giant and I think Oklahoma mixed zinnia or early bird. I've kind of lost track at this point. I just kept throwing zinnias in the ground and I don't know, I kind of lost track of what went where, unfortunately, but hopefully these begin to put on a nice show real soon. I have a dahlia. This is a Melina fleur dahlia, and then I had some hollyhocks growing back in there that have been completely, I'll show you, nibbled to the ground. Very sadly, I grew those from seed. I may try growing another batch from seed to see if I can save those. These are some Desert Sun sunflowers that are beginning to finally take off. I have one behind. Oh, and look, right there. Right there, right next to me. It's not focusing. Just hanging out, chilling, munching away on everything. Yep, I see you. Rosie, you need to go get him. Go bark at the rabbit. There's a baby bunny. She doesn't even see it. But yes, that's what I'm dealing with, 3 of them. And they do not care. I'm gonna zoom out again. They do not care about spray. Baby bunnies, I don't know, it's like they don't have that sense of smell or taste or something. So very few interventions work on them. So they just eat everything. I have a couple of hollyhocks that have not been touched right back there. And some more Desert Sun sunflowers. If you know of anything that can protect from baby rabbits, let me know if you've found anything successful. This is a Melina fleur dahlia. That one needs deadheaded, but it is starting to bloom. I'm not quite sure about these. Last year, my Melina fleur got super tall, like over 5 foot tall. And I was hoping that they were gonna tower over in this bed, like over the salvia, not quite as tall as the sunflowers, but so far they're remaining on the shorter side. These are sweet peas that are still putting on some blooms, but definitely starting to fizzle out because of the heat. So I think that what I'm gonna do with the dahlia is leave them in the ground this year and experiment to see if they overwinter. I've had a couple overwinter for me this year, and then hopefully they will get nice and tall next year and kind of at least be as tall as the salvia, or maybe even taller, just to provide kind of that layered height effect. So that is my plan. I have 4 in this bed I'll show you that are not really taking off quite yet. I planted this purple hyacinth bean vine down at the base of this obelisk to hopefully begin to take off and take over the sweet pea vine right here that is kind of beginning to look a little mangy. This one's definitely flopping all over. I'm gonna have to kind of tie that one up. But I do have another Melina fleur tucked back in here, and some more hollyhock and sunflowers, desert sun sunflowers. And look at the bees already at work on this salvia. They just go bonkers over this salvia. They're at it all day long, just doing their thing from morning until night. I absolutely love it. My limetta hydrangea is almost beginning to turn that limey green color now, as are my Annabelles in the background there. Absolutely love this hydrangea. And I also have a Melina fleur tucked back in there. Now last year, that Melina fleur just towered over this hydrangea. So that was my hope, but I may have to wait a year, and I think I see a sunflower starting to bloom right there. I do hope this gets taller. This was supposed to be, I have 3 in here. They were supposed to be, I think, almost 6 foot tall. So my thought was they were gonna come up over the salvia. So we shall see if they get to be that height. That was what I was thinking. Take you around the crepe myrtle that is not yet in bloom. And hi, Rosie. She loves going in and out of the beds. These are some coleus that are beginning to fill out nicely. I was kind of hoping that they would make a little hedge here, so we'll see if they get big enough to touch each other right behind my boxwood here. And another limetta. And I'm gonna show you around here. This is the denim and lace Russian sage. So this is still looking beautiful. That just puts on a nice show all summer long. And right back here, I planted a penstemon that is out of bloom, and a row of raspberry ripple zinnias that are beginning to bloom. It's beautiful pink. And then this is kind of what they do. They put on this show of pinks and almost like a ripple effect with the pink and the white, kind of looking almost like a candy cane, like a striping. Behind that, I put in some purple basil that I had started from seed that is super tiny. I'm gonna have to try to find it because I have zinnias mixed all in here, but I put this hedge of purple basil hoping that it can take off. I have one right down there, and then some more right behind my raspberry ripple zinnias. So when I get back, I'm gonna be going away again, but when I get back, I am going to rearrange these zinnias. I wanted to let them put on some more growth. You can see I have just a bunch of like Oklahoma mix and Benary's Giant probably mixed in here. I'm gonna move them behind the purple basil, behind these raspberry ripples, and just kind of scatter them back in here. If I have enough, you can see if the rabbits don't completely destroy them. Look at, they just are nibbling on everything, and I've been spraying every day. It's so sad. I love zinnias, and I just want to be able to grow a ton of them, but the rabbits just love them and it just makes it so hard. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do if they destroy them all, but we shall see. I will keep you updated. I also just kind of plopped in a dahlia right here just to get it somewhere, but this will be a Thomas Edison and Creme de Cassis dahlia. I really want to work on beautifying up this little corner here to conceal all of this like piping right here. Someday I will figure all that out. Let's flip around and we're gonna take a walk over here and check out my main flower border over on this side. All right, let's start over here in front of my derung boxwoods right here. These will get about 10 feet tall, 2 feet wide. And then I had put a little border of Magellan zinnias that are actually not looking terrible. I had started I started all of these from seed, and then I did direct seed some of them right back in there. You can see some little baby seedlings coming. But these are starting to bloom, so that is great. And they don't look too badly nibbled down. I did put some Pro-Cut red sunflowers back in there and they took all but one. Those were my daughter's pick. I was just trying to find somewhere to put those. Right down here are Fall in Love Sweetly Anemone. And they are actually starting to put on some buds. I do not remember these blooming this early last year, so that is really cool. My Limelight Prime Hydrangea is starting to put out some flower buds. Very exciting. And HS State Dahlia is going to be blooming soon. I also have a row of Raspberry Ripple zinnias right here that are starting to bloom. And again, oh my goodness, these have not been touched by the rabbits. They are not fazed by heat and humidity and drought. They're just a fantastic plant. I have beautiful daisies blooming all through this border. Right behind these groupings are the Purple Pillar Rose of Sharon that are throwing out some flower buds. I'll see if I can find one, but they are not in full bloom yet, but hopefully they will get to be really prolific here soon. I don't yet have Black-Eyed Susans blooming, but they are on their way. I can see that some blooms are just waiting to burst open there. And I'm still on the hunt for my Powwow Pink coneflower to add into these groupings. My Redemption Elephant Ear are coming back. I had dealt with some die-off when I was away last time. Forgot to have my husband water them, but they are starting to grow back. They are not getting very tall, which I was hoping that they would get tall this year. However, they are rated down to zone 7, so my plan is to leave them in the ground and see what they do next year. Hopefully they would get a little bit taller next year. I have this Nephophia that is throwing off a bloom this morning. This is Orange Blaze. I still have the tag right down here. See if I can get that for you. So I just put these in this year, so I'm not expecting a very big show from them this year. But down the way, I have some beautiful lilies that I can't wait to show you that are in bloom. All along the border here, I intermixed some Cat's Pajamas Nepeta catmint with this Lady's Mantle. The catmint is not flushing out at the moment. I had cut it back hoping for a second flush, but look at how that water just settles on this Lady's Mantle. Isn't that so pretty? how it just collects on the leaves like that. I just love that so much. This catmint is throwing off a few blooms here and there. And my Mystic Illusion, Dahlia are beginning to also bloom nicely. Facing the other way here. Love that bright yellow pop of color in here with the dark foliage. I think it just looks so nice against my lamb's ear. Little lime hydrangea is putting out some buds. And then I have a coneflower that is kind of struggling. I'm gonna move this guy up a little bit and away from the black-eyed Susans, but this is the powwow pink that I'm hoping to add to the rest of the border, to all of these groupings. And then I have another elephant ear right here that's doing a little bit better than the other one, and some beautiful stargazer lilies that are starting to bloom. This has got to be one of my favorite combinations right now. I think it is so pretty against the daisies, and my black-eyed Susans are starting to open on this side. You can see the flowers are starting to open. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. My goal is to add more of these stargazer lilies, to really work on adding more of some of what I have. So I think that it would be really pretty to add some more bigger clumps of those to maybe either side of the bench here, was my thought, or even growing up in through the bench. I'm not really sure, but I do want to add more of these and more of the Royal Sunset lily that I have on the other side that is out of bloom at this point. I still have some foxglove that I've just been letting drop seed. The other day, let's see if I can get them to. Yeah, all you have to do is literally shake the tops of them and they just drop seed everywhere. So, oh look, I think I actually see them reseeding themselves. Do you see all of this? I believe that's all baby foxglove. Isn't that crazy? So hopefully they will take off and I will have lots of foxglove to work with next year. This is our Twombly's Red Sentinel Japanese Maple that I just absolutely love. And it looks like I lost a zinnia down here. Oh, right there. Not sure if somebody came along and ate that one, but I did plant these zinnias all along here, under the bench, around the bench. There's some more on this side. So hopefully they survive, don't get attacked too bad. And I also have like a little grouping of caramel heuchera right there that really just adds a nice color, nice pop of color at the end of this bed. So things are looking really pretty. I can't wait for the black-eyed Susans to come and to find some coneflower to add some more color over here. Things are faring well despite the heat. Let's take a walk over to my shady border and see how things are looking over there. Take a walk past my patio and my row of green giants over here. Just filled my hummingbird feeders last night. I think I might need to give that one some more. I made my own hummingbird nectar, which is super, super easy. It's just basically sugar water. There's a million recipes out there that you could use, but I think it's much better for them than giving them that red dye food that you can buy in the store. So I did that last night. These are hosta that I divided from my front porch that are still doing really great. And an April Remembered Camellia that looks like it's doing wonderful also. I planted that in the spring. That'll get about 8 feet tall right there and fill out that space nicely. My impatiens are looking pretty happy this morning. They got a nice drink of water last night. They have been struggling a little bit to put on growth. And this year I did something different. I have usually used Osmocote. I did that last year in the planting holes when I put these in. So by this time last year, they were bigger using the Osmocote. This year, all I did was take some flower tone and sprinkle it over top of the soil after I put them in the ground, after my kids put them in the ground. So they are definitely slower to take off this year, but I am hopeful that in the end, they will be about the same as if I had used the Osmocote. I'm really trying to stick with more organic materials, especially in the ground. So it was a good experiment to run this year, but they are looking very happy after last night's rain. I can't wait for them to really put on a color show here. My Annabelle hydrangeas are doing really nice. They're a little bit floppy at the base, but they really have not flopped terribly. So I always say this, but I think that I have better luck with them not flopping because of the river birch trees overhead. I think that it just provides a nice canopy for my Annabelles and protects them from some of the heaviest rain. That's my theory. Now they may flop as they get older and bigger. I mean, they're already really big. This is their 3rd year and they've already put on a ton of growth. So I don't know, we'll just have to see how it goes. Take a walk down here and I'm going to show you just a few things that I kind of moved around and put in the ground down here. This is a pink mink clematis that I also have on the other obelisk that is on its 2nd year and flowered a little bit. I think that they might just get too much shade back here, but I'm just gonna see how they do again next year and figure out what to do from there. And down here, I put mostly my hosta and fern and just some more shade-loving plants in this little corner because it gets more shade. I added in this Wiggles and Squiggles hosta that I've had in a container for a little while. I put that here, just right there by my wee hosta, and that is a Prairie Sky blue hosta, that little guy right there. And I have an elegans and some blue halcyon. These are Brilliance autumn ferns that put on this really pretty kind of rusty red color when they first come out. And a gigantic Woolala hosta back behind this serviceberry. And then just kind of repeated that pattern on this other side. I do have a Casablanca lily back in there that is kind of flopping over. I see, I might have to stake that. And it's about to bloom, but not quite yet. I think I'm actually gonna move that guy over here. Kind of group it and maybe get some more of that plant and just make a bigger grouping of it back behind some of this hosta and back behind. So I also put in these foxglove right here that I had also grown from seed to add a little bit of height to this garden bed. And this is a little columbine that came back from last year. Hopefully that gives me a nice show next year. And then this is a Roseanne geranium that is looking a little sad. It had been eaten down by the rabbits as well, but my hope is that this kind of just spreads throughout this area a little bit and meanders among some of these plants with the hellebore and the columbine, the hosta. I also have these wildberry heuchera that I'm protecting from the rabbits. They have not been able to grow very much this year because of them. And I put in this, I don't know if this is gonna survive, but this is a clump of anemone that I had growing. It was like hiding right back in there amongst the hostas. So I'm gonna see if it'll take off for me. And some more Patriot hosta from my front porch. And then I also put in a little grouping of foxglove right back here. So I would love to add a little more foxglove back in this corner. I think that I'm gonna start some more from seed pretty soon here, as well as some other plants like some delphinium and just some of those perennials that I could get going before the summer is over and plant them out in the fall. And then hopefully next year I'll have blooms from some of those biennial type perennials. So that's what's going on in this little shady corner. I'm gonna take you over to the other gate now. There is not much to see. I'm gonna show you the destruction that the rabbits have caused over there. Before I take you in to show you the destruction, I just wanted to bring you out here to show you something beautiful. So I have these two incredible hydrangeas on either side of the gate. The one on the left has obviously taken off more than the one on the right, but I have this gorgeous little grouping of sun patience underneath this incredible that is doing incredible. They look so beautiful. They, I think, are the best looking sun patience that I have right now. They love this spot. This is the red candy variety. And they just add this just really nice, vibrant pop of color underneath this hydrangea. So they seem to just absolutely love it there. They get a good amount of water runoff whenever it rains, so they can really soak up the water, and kind of a part sun situation. So they're just doing great. But let's take you inside and I'll show you what's going on in here. Well, it is the evening now. I was editing this video and realized that my videos that I had recorded in the morning here at the end were not loading properly. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna try it again just for this last little part. Anyway, technology, you gotta love it. I'm gonna just bring you over here and show you this bed. It's nothing special. I have not paid too much attention to this area. This is in front of our hollies. These are Dragon Lady hollies. And I did add this honeysuckle this year that I'm hoping will fill this metal obelisk real nicely next year. It is putting off some nice blooms. This is the Sensation honeysuckle. It's a Proven Winners plant. Just a nice pale yellow color. And right below that, I had put in these sedum. These are the Autumn Joy sedum, and they're doing okay. The middle one is, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's really flopping. I just propagated these from the mother plants over by my air conditioner, so they will probably look better next year. And then I have these alyssum that are just not doing great. I grew these from seed, and they're real leggy and just kind of scraggly looking. So I really am not loving these. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna leave them be or what, but the ones that I bought from the nursery look much better than the ones that I grew from seed. I'm not sure if they're a different variety or what's going on there. And then I also had grown this lavender from seed. Hopefully that overwinters and turns into a bigger lavender plant next year. I did have a coneflower that has been munched down, and I did put in this Oh So Easy double red rose that isn't really blooming at the moment, but should put out a couple more blooms for this season. I also have those on the other side of my house that looked gorgeous just a couple weeks ago. They are also working on putting out their second flush of blooms. So that is this side. I'm gonna just swing you around here and show you the destruction. I had planted a bunch of annuals that I grew from seed in front of these Sweet Talker viburnum, hoping for this display of color and variety. And just in the past day, I had been spraying every night faithfully. The baby bunnies came through. Like I said, they do not care about much of anything, and just pretty much destroyed my zinnias, my marigolds, my ageratum, my cosmos. I mean, they just stripped them down to the bare stem. There's still some plants over there that are standing, but I don't know if they're gonna survive, especially since I'm going away for a bit. So I may be ripping this stuff out and starting from scratch, figuring something else out. I'm not sure, but that really made me sad. So is gardening, the ups and the downs. And I did add some delphinium here that are not putting out any blooms right now. The one is struggling. It's not looking like it's gonna make it. I'm not sure what went on right there, but I do wanna grow some more delphinium from seed, like I said. This ageratum is actually looking really nice. It's a tall ageratum, and I still have some plants right down on this way that are doing okay. So we'll just have to see how they fare. And then I do have 3 sunflower back in here. Those are the Soraya sunflower. They are a branching sunflower with the classic yellow petal and brown center. So hopefully those can begin to take off a little bit. And that is kind of the update on this side. And I was gonna also show you real quick, I had planted some purple hyacinth bean vine on these poles. Don't mind my hose that's out at the base of these light poles. In the last video, I believe, I was hoping to have purple hyacinth bean vine grow up these poles and just kind of cascade over them. And again, I had been spraying diligently, but one of the babies must have come along and just lopped that one right off. So that one is no more. I just did not get to make the wire cages with my hand, and just so much going on, I just didn't get to it, but that's really what I needed to do. And then let's see, over here, this one is still intact. So maybe that one will start to grow. I think the geranium might be protecting it a little bit. There were a bunch of baby bunnies in this geranium and in these skip laurels. So there was a nest somewhere that I just didn't ever see. So that is the update on my purple hyacinth bean vine over here. I'm just gonna give you one last look at the beauty over here instead of the destruction on the other side. And boy, does it feel nice out right now. It is so pleasant, and the sun is not shining harshly on anything. I should probably do evening tours more often. This is really nice. But I hope you guys enjoy just this kind of mid walk through my garden, mid-July walk through my garden. I hope that you are experiencing some relief and heat wherever you are in the world, and maybe some rain. That would be wonderful. It looks like we are supposed to get a bunch of rain tomorrow and Saturday, so that should help this dry, crispy grass situation, I am hoping. But thank you guys so much. I hope that you have a great week, and I will definitely talk to you next week. All right, bye.